Do you really know who you are and what you want in a relationship? Most of us don't. Today, our guest will give us ways to learn who we are and what we want in a relationship. Stay tuned. Welcome to the show, everyone. And you have joined the Father Show. And today we have a fantastic guest. Our guest is Lisa Concepcion, and she is a certified professional love life strategist, coach, dating and relationship expert who specializes in reboot marriages, detox from breakups, divorces, and toxic relationships. She's also helps with premarital preparation. Lisa serves as contributing expert for elitedaily.com, and let me say that correctly, elitedaily.com, bustle.com, and has been featured on dozens of media outlets as a go-to expert. She offers loads of free, helpful content via her YouTube channel and on her private Facebook group called Love Talk for Successful Minded People. Her weekly Love Blast micro coaching email and daily posts across social media platforms as well. Lisa coaching style delivers a result driven experience that is efficient, intuitive, effective, supportive, and empowering. You can connect with Lisa at lovequestcoaching.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like for you to welcome Miss Lisa Concepcion.
Hello.
How,
Hi.
how you
Yay.
doing,
So good.
Lisa?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mike?
I can't complain. It's a gorgeous.
Good. I
Well,
love your ensemble. You're rocking the suit.
I
Very
like the
nice.
pink.
It's crispy. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You're looking great today, as
Thank
usual.
you.
Yeah, you look just like your videos.
I have a bunch of them, so yes.
Yes, you do. And tell us a little bit about the videos that you do have.
So I started a YouTube channel back, I think it was like 2013, 2014, and I was very different person back then. So back then I was just, documenting my life in Miami, Florida. I had moved from northern New Jersey to restructure my life, a whole different life where it was warm at the beach, and I was just documenting my journey. But then along the way, I went through a divorce and my subsequent healing and transformation and then coaching. So all of that is laid out on my YouTube channel.
Yes. So your life experiences.
Yes, yes. It started as a vlog and now it's more of a hub to really help people who are going through um, these romantic situations that happen often at midlife or before it. It's really for anybody. But I just so happened to have been from 40 years old to now 49,
Mm-hmm.
having this whole decade be about the person I was at the start of it to the person I am now is completely different.
Yeah. And that's good because really we change anyway. We're going to change from a different person than we were in our 20s, in our
Yeah.
30s, our 40s. I'm in my 60s and I know
Wow, look at
I'm
you.
changing. Yeah, you still change and you evolve because from life experiences. So
Yes.
it's great, and it's the fantastic part about it is you're sharing it with everybody else to help them, and so I
Yes.
commend
It's
you for
very,
that. That
very transparent.
yes,
Very, very unedited, unscripted, very real.
that's the only way to be, and I agree
Hmm.
with you. I do the same. I tell people the challenges I've had, the mistakes I've made. I really don't mind telling people because hopefully it's going to help someone else in
Mm-hmm.
their life. And I think that's great that we can do that and have the platform to do it as well. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. And
good for
with the
you.
today, digital media and how there are all these platforms like this podcast, there's just so much great information out there that can really help people. People can just go on a Google search and type in what their problem is, and all these different solutions will pop up.
Yeah, yeah, that is so true. So, let's get into the show now. We were going to talk
Okay.
about today how men really can understand who they are before they, start dating. So they have an
Mm.
idea as to what they're really after in a relationship.
Yeah, so important to do that. So very important to get a handle and clarity around where you are in your own life, so that then from that place you can determine what partner and what values and what attributes they would need to be a suitable match for you.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people have it very they're very unconscious. They're just out there trying to meet somebody, and oh, if we click and we hit it off and there's chemistry, then we'll just go from there. But they could save a lot of time and also get more deliberate in who they actually call in, because that, there's power in that.
Right.
If they do a little preliminary work before they start dating and setting some intentions and getting really clear about who is this person that they are trying to attract, and how will they fit in to the bigger picture of the life that they want.
And I agree with you 100% because I know I stayed single for a while before I got remarried, and it gave me an opportunity to learn what I wanted and
Yeah.
who I wanted to be a part of my life.
Hmm.
For me, it's got to be happiness. I don't want somebody I have to argue with. That's not my style. I'm not a
You're very
person.
chill.
Yeah, I'm very chilled. I don't want to argue and fussing and fighting. That's not gonna, as some people say, turn me on. Not gonna
Mm,
happen. It's gonna turn
no.
me totally off. So I think it's important that men and women, for that matter, understand exactly who they are looking
Hmm.
for, and as you said, attracting. And I'd like you to talk a little bit about that because a lot of people don't understand they attract,
Yeah.
and sometimes we wonder why we keep attracting the same type of woman or man.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of people have patterns and they keep attracting the same types of people over and over again. So, few things with that. So, the first thing to understand is who we attract is a reflection of who we are and the beliefs that we have. So, if we have a belief that I attract cheaters and liars, then most likely you're going to continue to attract cheaters and liars. So, the law of attraction basically says that which is likened to itself is drawn. So, whatever we focus on and put attention on and speak into existence, we will attract and we will
Mm-hmm.
create. So now, if you want to not do that anymore and you want to attract somebody amazing, then the work becomes focusing on what is wanted as opposed to what isn't, and then becoming a vibrational match to that. So, one of the ways to do that is to write a list of all the things, all the positive attributes, and speaking it in a positive way that you want in another person. So I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say you want somebody who doesn't do drugs, right? No drugs, drug-free zone. So what you would say, instead of I don't want somebody who does drugs, you would say I want someone who is healthy, respectful of their body, someone who is drug-free. Same with smoke free, same with whatever your thing is, right? So you go down the list of the things that really matter to you and you speak it in a positive way. And then you have this wonderful person that you wrote on paper who exists. And that's the other step, is believing that this amazing person exists, because they do. And the reason why they exist is because you thought of them. So the fact that you thought of them means that they exist. And your job then is to align energetically with who they are. So, how do we do that? Well, we proceed to live life amazing and enjoy our time and have our hobbies and our friends and our, things that we do, just, listening to music and enjoying yourself, enjoying your life. And the higher vibration you are, the more likely you are to be delighted and surprised with the blessing that the universe will give you when you least expect it, and you'll
Hmm.
meet that great person. It's as if law of attraction just had to put you right at the right place at the right time for that right person.
Oh, I'm a living witness to that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. People see my boyfriend and I on social media, having fun doing our thing in South Beach, Miami, Florida.
Hmm.
And people will ask me, Lisa, you're almost 50 years old. Like, how did you meet your boyfriend? And I said, well, I met him when I was 45. I'm 49, I'm turning 49 in about 3 weeks. And I said, well, I just got clear on what I wanted for
Hmm.
me first, the kind of life I wanted to create and the life I was creating for myself. And then the second step was I got very clear about the kind of man that would be a suitable fit for that, right? Because my vision is my vision, regardless of who's sitting next to me.
Right.
I'm going where I'm going in my life, period. So
Yeah.
then it becomes okay, well, what kind of person is going to advance me to that goal or to that endeavor? And then get clear on them and then go out and enjoy my life. I was with a group of friends and we went to a beautiful restaurant, and somebody recognized me from my Facebook and they called me over to say hello, and I came over and my now boyfriend was seated at that same table.
Mm.
So it's just amazing how when we leave a little bit of space and we have some faith, lots of faith, then we just turn it over to the universe and we don't have any anxiety and we don't force it. And we just live great and have a fun time. And who doesn't want to be around a fun person, right?
Absolutely.
You become magnetic. You become magnetic. They want to know you because you seem
Yeah.
like you're having so
Yeah.
much fun. They see like a light.
And you're so right. I experienced the same thing. Wasn't looking, but
Mm,
the universe where he had put me in a place where I had to be, then I met my wife, and
mm,
it was just totally by faith. And
so good.
I knew I would have to go back to this office one more time, but I didn't know if I would see her. And I just told, God, look, I want to see her the next time I go. And sure enough, I saw her. I asked her for a number. We've been together ever since.
How long ago is this?
Be 9 years now.
Amazing. Good for you.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's been great. And, like what we were saying and what you said earlier, you have to know what you want. And
Hmm.
when I met her, she had kids, I had kids. And I told her, I said, okay, I just want you to know that when my son graduates from high school, I'm leaving. I'm moving. And if you don't want to
You
move,
had a plan.
I had already had a plan. I knew I didn't want to stay in Colorado. I wanted to move closer to the water and warm weather. And I said, if this is not going to work for you, then you can let me know now. But I'm letting you know this is what I'm going to do. And she
That's
said,
it.
let's go.
Wow. See, that's the
Yeah,
perfect part is that, you know, the universe, God, benevolent, wants us to be happy, wants us to have everything work out, right? So when we have that desire and the belief to match the desire, then all kinds of magic happens. And, out of all the women on the planet, you had to meet the one that was like, all right, let's do it. Let's go. Give me a
yeah.
minute to pack.
And the crazy part of it is we have, need to say, we have a blended family. She brought in 3 kids. I brought in 3 kids.
Oh my God, you're
And
like the Brady Bunch.
we just like the Brady Bunch. Only it was 4 boys and 2 girls.
Cool.
But but they all get along.
Oh my gosh, how wonderful.
Yeah. And I told her, I said, you really don't understand how unusual this is because they
Yeah.
were teenagers and early and mid 20s. And I said, all of them get along and now we have a great time together. We
Oh,
have a,
how blessed. How
yeah,
great. You're
very
like the
much so.
living proof example that blended families can absolutely work.
Oh, they can. They
Hmm.
absolutely can work. It's a
And I have
mindset.
a question for you. Like with three kids, so each of she had two, you had four, or what happened? You each had three.
No, we both had three. She had two boys and
Okay,
a
so
girl.
how was it when you were dating? Like, how did you find time to make your schedules sync up so you can actually have the time to see one another? Because that's always an issue. Like, people have an issue with that.
Yeah, especially with her because she worked two jobs at the time. So
Wow. So she had three kids, two jobs, and she probably saw you like, once every other Thursday when the moon was
with the moon,
aligned just
yeah, but just in the right place.
right. Exactly.
Yeah, it was hard, but we're both very busy people. We both keep
Hmm.
ourselves going, so we made time uh, when it was available. And at first, it was needless to say just us. We didn't
Hmm.
involve our kids,
Right. I would
and
imagine so.
yeah, so it was just us. And then after we knew that this was going to progress more, then we
Uh huh.
introduced the kids to. I introduced my kids to her, and then she introduced her kids to me, and they were a little bit more reluctant because her divorce wasn't as long ago as mine.
Got
I
it.
had,
Okay.
yeah, I had been single for what, about 9, 10 years at that time.
Wow. Okay.
So my son was used to him and I, being together and so forth.
Mm.
So for her kids, it was a little different, but they warmed up to me after a while, and then it
Ah.
didn't really take long. But now, I mean, her kids say, "Mike, I love you," and I say, "I love
Oh, this is
you," and
good.
you
Of
know,
course. I mean, you're with her almost a decade, so,
yeah.
you're full on family now. That's great.
Oh yeah,
How nice.
yeah. It really is. It's very nice, and I'm very proud and happy of
Of course.
what the universe has brought to me. And
That's it.
I wasn't,
Blessings.
yeah. I just knew what I wanted, and I knew who I was, and I always known what I would put up with and what I wouldn't put up with. And that's
Mm,
sometimes I find men get into bad relationships and they have no idea as to who they are and what
right.
they really want in a relationship. They just saying, "Oh, because men are visual. So we see a pretty lady and we like, ooh, oh, she's nice. Ooh, and she's looking back at me. Okay, well, let me
Mm,
try it."
right.
But
Then they realize a couple of months later that she's crazy.
right, and you are like, huh, but I like what she looks like, and but she
Right.
makes me angry. So
Mm,
I'd ask a man, why would you stay? Why would you, and even a woman for that matter, because if you are a woman and you get involved with a man and that man is not really who you want, it's not really making you happy, it's not fulfilling your needs, why stay?
well, there are a few reasons for that. It's a lot of people are very codependent, and I struggled with this my whole life until I was 44 years old, and then I cured myself of codependency. I realized that no one is here to love me better than I can love me or should love me. And guess what? I was off the hook too. I didn't have to love anybody better than they can love themselves either. So that was just this refreshing, like the hood came off. I was like, oh my goodness, what a thing to realize, right? So now I was 100% responsible for my happiness. And that then afforded me the luxury and the platform, the space to really get into and get really clear about what makes me happy and what do I want to do with my life and how do I want to live and how do I want to exist on the planet, And then once I got into that deep, soulful knowledge of myself, then it became very easy to ascertain what I would tolerate and what I would not.
Mm-hmm.
It was very clear. It was, here's what I want, and if you're it, amazing, and if not, that means that my person is still out there. So
Right.
I think a lot of people who don't love themselves think that they're dating a bit from scarcity, and they fear that if it doesn't work with this person and I already invested 6 months, then I'm going to have to go back out there again. So they let fear dominate, which is very egoic. It's very from an absence of faith. So when
Mm-hmm.
you're living in fear, you're not in faith. When you're in fear and ego, you're not in love and faith. So you're just being manipulated by darker forces within, right? The fear, the ego, and you end up stuck in a relationship that is not fulfilling, that is not aligned with your values, and certainly not aligned with your vision of self respect and respect of others and how you want to exist harmoniously with someone else. And then you're kind of in this situation where you're just like trying to make them change to suit you, which is incredibly conditional. You're looking for an outside condition to shift and change to appease you. Always a recipe for disaster because we can't control other people. So,
Right.
yeah, so we run into some sticky situations, and that's where you see people in relationships for years and years and years, and they're not happy.
Right. And you said it, one thing that I want to hit on is you said we try to change somebody to fit
Hmm.
us. And
Yeah.
would you agree that you really cannot change anyone?
I mean, you could inspire people, but you can't change them.
Yeah.
Meaning, you could inspire, I'll give you an example from my own relationship. So, right now, I have reached the place with my boyfriend where we're together 4 years and we need to see what we're going to do next
Mm-hmm.
about inter- intertwining our lives and blending our lives. And, the conversation led to a place of where we are financially and what we're creating together and individually. And it led us to have this really open, honest conversation about asking what we want, asking for what we want. And
Mm-hmm.
he never really did that. He never really felt like he could. So, not with me, but I'm saying in the general universe, like when you think of your career, when you think of what you want to do in service to the planet, he never really had that clarity like I have, right? I
Mm-hmm.
had a whole other career before becoming a coach. And so when you're with someone like me, I can't look at him and be like, oh, I expect you to be this way, this way, this way, this way. You are who you are, and you made it on this journey to here. Now, if I said to him, so here's an idea, how do you feel about this? Let's get the study workbook to Think and Grow Rich. Let's take the book and go chapter by chapter, you and me. We'll do a little mastermind group of two, and we'll start to get very focused and directed on what we're doing with the next year of our life
Mm-hmm.
together, so that we're on the same page, we're a team. And not normally I could have said, typical, I could have said, he would never do that. He's not into personal development. He's not going to read Think and Grow Rich. He just wouldn't do that. I'm going to have to do that. I wish he would just be the type to like, why can't he just read things for himself? Why can't he just do this for himself? Why do I have to be the one to make him do it? Right. So we get in that. But really, it's simply me saying, we're at this point in our relationship. I am going over there with you or without you. I'd like it to be together. And to do it together, perhaps if you're interested, I believe this could be a way for us to partner up, team up, learn a bunch of stuff about each other and as individuals and as what we're going to build next. And get this book, create a little book club. It's the kind of book that, multimillionaires, billionaires read. Everybody talks about Think and Grow Rich. It's been around since, the Depression, and a bunch of very powerful people read it. I've read it twice, so I said, let's do a book club about it and see what we do. So in that it's inspiring. It's not me trying to change him. It's me trying to help him to change himself. It's
Right.
me trying to inspire him to look at things from a different paradigm. And in there, change does happen. So, because of me, he dreams way bigger now. Before I came on the scene, he wasn't talking about, millions of dollars, building an empire, coaching empire with books and traveling the world and all this stuff. He was
Mm-hmm.
very like, I'm a corporate sales guy. I'm lucky if I make $350,000 a year. That's my ceiling. That's where I am. And great. And I came on the scene and I'm just like, yeah, okay. So here's the deal. You're amazing at sales. Someday you're going to work for me. I can't do this alone. There's no way I can build what I'm trying to build by myself. But for now, I want to see you thrive and succeed where you're at and I want to do the same. So let's like be collaborators and let's help each other and we do the best we can with where we are and we grow together. And when you approach it that way, people start to change and grow as opposed to being manipulated.
Yeah, and you got to see that he was willing to
Yes.
make some changes. It's not
Yes.
like, change who you are, but it's
No.
improving and involving who you are. And
Yeah.
you found somebody that is saying, "Hey, okay, well, I do this with you," and that's good. Instead
He
of,
actually said his words were great. He's like, I'm going to do anything. I will listen to you. I will do anything because I want to do better at this job. Like I need to be making way more money and I need to know what to do. So I said, okay,
absolutely,
cool. Then let's do it. Let's jump in on it together.
that's great.
So it's just that. And I feel like a lot of people, they are in a state of criticism as opposed to appreciation. So there were a lot of things about this man that I absolutely adore and appreciate. So I came to him from a position of complimenting him and telling him how wonderful I think he is in these different aspects and how smart he is and how he's helped me even. So when you're looking to inspire people, mainly your significant other, do it from a position of adoration and respect and not criticism because people will be
Hmm.
defensive. If I came to him and I said, well, listen, if you're going to think that you're going to make this money that you want to make, you're going to need to start reading some books and doing some development on yourself. You can't sit in front of the TV and watch the Yankee game and think that, watching these people are going to seep into your mind and you're going to have success. So that's a very combative way
Yeah.
of approaching it. It's making him feel bad for watching the game. It's making him feel inferior that he's just doing something that is not appropriate when that's not the case at all. So really, it's about women getting into that feminine, powerful feminine where you're not coming at it like a mother. You're coming at it as a leader by example, but
Hmm.
softer and uplifting and inspiring, and not trying to criticize him or break him down so that you could elevate. It's more about listen, if I'm in a relationship with you, how you're doing is a reflection on me.
Yeah.
So if you're not happy in your career and you're not happy with whatever's happening in your life, then as your woman, I have to come to you and say, well, here's what I'm doing. This is what helped me. If this feels like it can work for you, you can try it. But I'm not going to like make somebody do something or give them an ultimatum. It's more like I have to decide. If I look at the truth of who this person is and I realize, wow, okay, I'm going over there regardless. I don't know if this is the man who can come with me, then that's on me to make that decision. That
Right.
has nothing to do with them, it has to do with me. And some people, you reach a point in the relationship where perhaps you can't grow together anymore. I
Hmm.
feel like everybody could. I just think that I feel when people come at one another with that intention to stay together and grow together, then they can. The intention is everything. If they believe that they cannot, then they won't. Whatever they believe they could achieve, that's what's going to happen. Did we get disconnected? Oh no.
There
Let
we
me
go.
see. Oh,
I'm
you're back.
sorry.
Okay, cool. We can
Yeah,
edit that, right?
yeah, I
Okay,
can.
awesome.
So
Great.
now, do you think there's uh, people don't always give it a relationship enough time to decide to know that it's a good relationship for them?
Um, this is interesting because there's definitely dynamic of a bigger, better deal. We have access to many more people now due to technology and dating apps, and just simply easier access to people through our phones, Facebook. People meet there, and
Hmm.
so there's this attitude of if it's not everything that I want it to be in 5 minutes, then I'll just go to the next and the next and the next. It's very like a buffet,
Hmm.
like you have everything in the buffet, but you don't know what to choose, and then you end up full and you don't feel good. you know, so so yeah, there is a little bit of that. There's anything to the extreme. So like on the one hand, you have people trying to force a relationship and stay in something that is not working, and they stay in it too long.
Hmm.
And then on the other side, you have people who aren't really giving it a fair chance, and they see one little thing that isn't for them. Granted, if it's a major thing and it's a deal breaker, then it's a deal
Right,
breaker, and that's fine. I
right.
mean, all the more power, to know for sure what it is that you want. For example, if a man and a woman, let's say, go out on a date, or better yet, they begin with a preliminary phone call to just kind of see if you want the same things, and one person is just coming out of a divorce, maybe he's just full on, just I'm just new to dating, I haven't dated in 10 years, I got divorced 6 months ago and now I'm dating again, I'm not really looking for something serious. And the woman is, well, I'm looking for something very serious, I've been dating for 3 years, I was in a relationship for 6 months and then another one for 7 months, like I'm ready for my man. They're obviously not a match. So we have a lot of people not approaching dating strategically. They just meet somebody, like you said earlier, she's pretty, and then they go out and have drinks or dinner or what have you. And that's when they start to just be pleasant around each other, but they're not really asking these pointed questions about their life and where they are in life, and if
Hmm.
it is a match or not. Because for me, one of the things that I advise my clients who are trying to date with power and purpose and intention is to get very clear about what it is they want. But then if they're using a dating app or Facebook or Match.com or any of this, step one is to invite that person into a conversation on the phone, so
Hmm.
that you could have, no more than 30 minutes of just really having those top three questions that really help you determine if this person is on the same page as you. And if it is, and you have rapport, then wonderful. You make a date and you make a plan together and you meet in person. But if it's not aligned and it's one person wants something different than the other, then you know that from the comforts of your sofa, you don't have to leave your house. Very
That is
efficient.
so true. But
Yeah.
Lisa, it has been a pleasure. Unfortunately, that's our time for the show today.
Oh, okay. Well, this was delightful. Thanks for having me on. I'm hopeful that the people come away with some helpful nuggets.
Yeah, I think so. I think you've done a great job. But I want you
Thank
to
you.
tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Oh, great. Well, people who tuned into this beautiful podcast can find me at lovequestcoaching.com. And there they can take a free love life assessment where they can connect with me and ask specific questions, and I respond to them with specific answers.
Oh, great. Well, I thank you so much for being on the show. It has been wonderful. And I
Thank you.
hope that I can get you back on the show once again. And so
Oh,
we can,
absolutely.
yeah,
You
we'd
found a
love to
friend
keep
in me.
talking.
We'll help the people. Maybe what will happen is people will watch this and they'll write in and they'll be like, "Oh, we want her to back to talk about whatever," and then they can dictate what we talk about next.
Absolutely. That's what we're hoping for.
Nice. Wonderful. Well,
Oh,
I wish you a happy Valentine's Day with your beautiful family. Enjoy
oh,
it.
thank you. And the same to
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thanks,
And
Mike.
this should be
Be
your what,
well.
fourth one? Your fourth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fourth or fifth, I forget. Yeah.
All right. Make it
I
count.
know. Exciting.
Well, give me my
Thank you
best.
again.
I wish you guys a very best Valentine's Day, and I look forward to talking to you again here soon.
Likewise. Thanks
All right.
again.